Another way we're discovering how our most important organ works is by observing how it adjusts to serious injury. In certain cases, its power to heal itself is almost miraculous. Take hydrocephalus, an often fatal abnormality of infancy when the normal flow of spinal fluid out of the brain is blocked and pressure builds up inside the skull.
In the normal brain of a baby, the ventricles are that butterfly-shaped structure. On this brain of a hydrocephalic child, from the outside it looks roughly normal. It's not normal. But when you turn it around, these ventricles are enormously dilated, and the brain is only about half a centimeter thin.
In 1955, a valve and shunting procedure was developed. It permitted the release of fluid from the brain in a long bypass to the heart for recirculation. Since then, the valve implant operation has saved the lives of hundreds of thousands of hydrocephalic children. With no continuing trauma to their brain, many have become normal. In a few remarkable cases, some, like Sharon, have done even better.
I always thought she was about average, but now I'm beginning to wonder if she's probably more than average. She got every exam that she took. She didn't fail anything.
Even the English one?
Yes, and the English is the one that she's not too sure of. The chemistry, she was the only girl to get a GC in her school. And in biology, she was the only one of two girls to get that GC.
How can Sharon possibly be above average? What does her brain look like? Could it have assumed a normal shape? Sharon's consulting pediatrician, Dr. John Lorber in Sheffield, England, tried to find out. Sharon underwent a CAT scan to reveal the interior structure of her brain. In the normal brain, a CAT scan shows tissue completely filling the skull, with a shadow of the butterfly-shaped ventricles in the center. But in Sharon's scan, the image is extraordinarily different. The tissue of her brain is nearly flattened against the wall of her skull. How has she survived so well with such a distorted brain? Since a CAT scan cannot answer this question, Sharon was flown to Denmark for a cerebral blood flow scan. When she inhales xenon gas, the neurological detectives will be able to observe her brain's activity and may discover how she is making such brilliant use of her distorted brain tissue. The picture appears. It shows that activity in Sharon's brain is actually focused at the back, on the bottom of the screen, in the region normally reserved for vision. The normal brain, on the other hand, tends to distribute tasks evenly throughout. Neuroscientists use the word plastic to describe how function in Sharon's brain has been redistributed from one area to another.
While not as complete an example of plasticity as Sharon, Nicole presents another remarkable case, illustrating redistribution of brain function following early hydrocephalus.
Nicole is a young lady that I've been following for a number of years, ever since she was a child. In infancy, she developed hydrocephalus and required shunting. As a consequence of the hydrocephalus, extensive areas of the brain were damaged, including most of the left hemisphere.
CAT scans of Nicole's brain show the extensive damage caused by hydrocephalus. In this view, the left side of her brain is shown on the right. The general expansion of the ventricles is more prominent on the left side of the brain. The large dark area in the left rear of the brain is a cystic formation resulting from hydrocephalus. It is filled with cerebrospinal fluid. There is no brain tissue there at all.
Traditionally, the left hemisphere is dedicated to language function. In Nicole's case, it's been extensively damaged, including the occipital area, the area that we see with. In her case, this has affected her ability to do visual perceptual tasks. She has difficulty seeing things and identifying objects. She has difficulty carrying out any type of visual motor task, movements with her hands, copying, using a pencil. But A very interesting and surprising thing happened early in Nicole's case, and that was that she developed normal language skills. Fast as you can. Great. Now do it with your other hand. The same thing.
Dr. Bigler's
Bring both your
evaluation
hands
shows
together
clear
and
difficulties
do it.
in Nicole's motor abilities.
Now try to do it where you just move this finger to your thumb, this finger to your thumb, and not move any of your other fingers, and do it both hands together simultaneously.
Nicole is unable to copy visual patterns directly in front of her. However, reading has developed normally.
I'd like you to read this for me if you would.
Okay, do all the good you can by all the means you can, in all the ways you can, at all the times you can, to all the people you can, as long as you ever can.
Very good.
Nicole's case, like that of Sharon, raises more questions than it answers. But both cases illustrate the unusual plasticity of the brain. Uninjured areas can take over functions normally regulated by the damaged areas. Nicole's case also shows the premium the brain seems to place on the ability to communicate through verbal language. Just how the brain accomplishes these feats is still unclear. It remains a challenge for neuroscientists.
An escalator, gate,